Hey guys, AngryMonkey here with another Retro Game Treasure unboxing video. So for those who are new to the channel and you're wondering what is Retro Game Treasure, this is a video game subscription service that sends 3 to 5 games to your house every month to add to your personal collection. This is not a rental service, you get to keep these games. And these games are for a variety of different consoles. If you enjoyed some of the old school stuff like Intellivision or Atari, there's a lot of Nintendo stuff from the NES all the way up to the Wii. So NES, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Wii, as well as the portable stuff of the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and Nintendo 3DS. You have a bunch of Sega options, so you have the Master System, the Genesis, the Sega CD, and the Dreamcast, although don't expect CD or Dreamcast ever, but they're listed, so I'll mention them. As well as the Sega Game Gear. You got all the Sony stuff all the way up to the PS4, so PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4, plus the PSP, the original Xbox, the 360, and the Xbox One. So like I said, you got a lot of different consoles you can get games for, and once you fill out the website and fill out the survey, then you'll only get games for those consoles that you say you want games for. So like, you won't get a Nintendo 64 game unless you say, like, hey, I want games for the 64, for example. Not saying you're going to get them, but, like, you won't get a game if you don't check off that you want games for that console. Yeah. Now, a few other important things is if you're wondering, well, gee, what do I do about duplicates? Well, you're the one that prevents that by filling out the checklist on the website. Make sure you check off all versions. So, Star Wars Battlefront, make sure you check off the black label plus the red label greatest hits, unless you want both versions, which most people don't. But check off both versions, and I would also say check the competing consoles as well. Like Star Wars Battlefront still was released on the original Xbox, so what I would do there is go over to the original Xbox, check it off that you have on the original Xbox as well, unless you want it on both consoles, which some people do. Some people don't. I know I don't. I've got it on PS2. I'm happy with having it just on PS2. So just make sure you check off all versions. There's also the wishlist feature where if there's a game that you're looking for that you would like to get in your box, let them know. Don't expect a game like Earthbound or something, but you got a Super Nintendo recently and you want Super Mario World, you might get that in your box, or I don't know, something like that, you might get that in your box. And they've done pretty good at giving me a wishlist item almost every month, and it's been pretty consistent every month for the last, like, couple years. So, yeah, I'd say that I'm doing pretty good there. So, yeah, like I said, you go on the website, you fill out a survey, and that survey determines on what games and what consoles you want games for in your box, because this is, like, really customizable. So, check off the genres of games that you like to play. If you like platformers or arcade games or shooters, RPGs. If you don't want sports games, then make sure you don't check that sports game. Some people like sports games. I'm not a big fan of sports games, so I make sure that I don't check sports games. But I've got most things checked off. And then, like I said, check off the consoles. Mention that, yeah, you've been collecting for, like, a long time and condition's important. So they'll send you, like, some of the more, I guess you could say, like, pristine or whatever. Whereas, like, hey, I'm just starting out, just give me games. So you might get more of the loose ones there. I'm not quite sure how that works. They've sent me some loose games, even though I specify, hey, don't send loose games. But they haven't done that in a while. It's kind of rare when they do. So I'll just deal with it. Yeah, brain is still in a fog. Watch the Bella video and you'll understand everything. But there is a part that's later on in the video that I recorded before this, and you might hear, I don't know, I haven't edited yet, but you might hear some footsteps, which, well, that's kind of its own little bit of emotion, but we're not here for that. Like I said, there's a whole video about Bella if you guys want to know the status of Little Dog. But we are here for video games. So, as always, we have the box turned around backwards, so that way we don't get spoilers of what our next game is. I feel some pretty thick... Yep, we do have the legit air pillows, the Air Defender Lite, discountairpillows.com, where pillows are inflated, not prices. These guys are very inflated, which means they did a great job of protecting our games. There's some times where one of these guys takes an unfortunate sacrifice and is a little flattened, but all three of these guys are pretty beefy today, so that's good news. Alright, so I feel 4 games, okay. So first up is Intellivision, and then probably like PS4 and Xbox One, but I feel like I might have like a PS3 and a PS4 or something. We'll see. Anyway, first up we have Reversi. I've never heard of this game. It says it came out in 1979. Footage right here is showing what kind of game it is, and I'm only saying that to kind of stall so that way we can actually see what the game footage is. But yeah, I've never heard of this game, so that's pretty exciting. Next up we got... Oh! Okay. That's why it was a strange size. So this is it's a PSP game of Monster Hunter Portable. Okay, it's an import. I knew it was an import, obviously, but I'm like, was it Japanese? But obviously, yeah, you can tell that it is a Japanese import based on like all this down here. And then when I flipped it over, oh yeah, that is definitely Japanese import. But hey, it is complete in box, so that is pretty cool. I think I do have this game in English though, but that's pretty exciting. I don't know if the PSP is region locked. I know that some of the PlayStation stuff is. I know PS2 obviously is region locked. I'm assuming the PSP is too, so I don't know if I'm able to play that, but again, if I have Monster Hunter Portable, I think I have a Monster Hunter game on PSP, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. My brain, like I said, my brain's in a fog. Okay. Next is an Xbox One game, which we got Redout Race Faster Than Ever. Okay. So it's like some kind of sci-fi racing game. Includes Europa, Neptune Pack, and Vertex Pack DLCs, and an Xbox One exclusive. Okay, that's pretty cool. It almost looks... It has almost an F-Zero type vibe, at least from the pictures here, but obviously, like I said, that right there is going to provide more info. This game came out 2017. Oh yeah, Monster Hunter. I mean, you guys already saw, but... Well, obviously it wasn't 1994. That's what the back of the case says. Okay, and then our last game is Tekken 7. Okay, that's a good one. This is probably my wishlist item. So yeah, classic fighting game. Came out in 2017 as well. So, yeah. So, I'd say this was a pretty good box. I want to say that I was initially disappointed last month, but then I realized that DC game actually was a somewhat decent game. But, yeah, I got 4 games in this box. And so right now they're advertising the Boss Chest giveaway, which you can take a picture, post on social media, and you're entered the Boss Chest giveaway, which you could win a game console, potentially. I remember the very first time that I got a RetroGameTreasure box, the Sega Master System was like the Boss Chest giveaway item, which was exciting because at that time I didn't have one. I know that there was a Sega Genesis at one point. There was a PS1 that was the Boss Chest giveaway at another point. So, yeah, you might be able to win a game console and then get games from RGT to have on your new game console, which is pretty cool. I have a link in the description below if you're interested in Retro Game Treasure for yourself. My personal link to you, and if I refer 3 people, I get a free box, which I've never had happen before, so that'd be pretty cool if it happens. But if not, it's still there, and you can try out a box for yourself, see if you like it. And I guess that's all I have for this section of the video. But stay tuned because I've got a few pickups. May's been a light month on pickups, but I've got a few pretty good items in here that kind of make up for the fact that I didn't get a lot of things. Which, I mean, you can't get like 8,000 games every month because that's just, I don't have the room for that or the money for that. But so I kind of like that I had a lighter month on pickups. It kind of helped me save a little bit of money, even though there's still some decent pickups in here. So we'll go to that. So the first few pickups I want to talk about were, I went to another convention, and before you guys think, man, you go to so many conventions, like how can you afford it? Well, for one, the ticket was already paid for from the convention I was at the beginning of April, and it was only $5 to get in anyway. And two, I didn't buy anything at the convention because it was probably the most disappointing convention I've ever been to. There was like 50 booths. Most of them were art related, and it was kind of a broad spectrum of everything nerd. And outside of a booth that had some Fallout stuff, which was kind of cool, like bobbleheads mostly. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I have a big bobblehead. In fact, if I haven't shown that off yet, I've had this for a while. No, I didn't get that one there. And they had smaller versions of bobbleheads. And they had like a Deathclaw plush and stuff like that, a Fallout Operation game. That was cool. And I appreciated that one being there. But everything else was mostly art-related stuff, which isn't a bad thing, but I just didn't care about it. Like, it was not really relevant to me and my interest, even though it's a nerd convention that's covering Star Wars and superheroes and anime and video games. There was not a single video game there. There was, outside of like one My Hero pop figure, there was no anime stuff there at all. The only video game merch, like I said, was the Fallout thing. Most of it was kind of like an artist gallery thing where you can buy like art stuff, and like independent comic book artists was kind of like one of the driving things there. And I'm like, that's cool. I hope that people supported them, but that's all there was. I walked through the entire thing in 7 minutes. Then I went back to the Fallout thing for like 3 minutes, so I was kind of done in about 10 minutes. So that was like like I said, one of the most disappointing things I've ever been to. But like 10 minutes down the road from there was a retro game store. I've been there before. I discovered him at Torg, and he's like, "Oh, I'm pretty close to where you live," and I'm like, "I gotta check you out then." So yeah, I got 3 games from him. I budgeted on one of them because one of them is a one of those heavy hitter items for the PS2, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So first up, I got Wrecking Crew, a classic black box label NES game. What does it say here? Yeah, I had to bring that like really close to my face. Programmable series. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I got Wrecking Crew, a classic NES game, and one of the ones where you're basically Mario, it looks like, and you're smashing stuff, which is pretty cool. I mean, what's not to love about destroying things? The next one I picked up was Cosmic Carnage, a very weird looking 32. I've only got one 32X game. I got Doom when I got my 32X last year. So I was excited to pick up another game for the 32X. It's a fighting game, and it's weird. Like looking at the gameplay, I don't know if you're choosing the armor or if you're like removing his arms or changing his arms and legs. I don't really know based on the footage that you're seeing there, but I'm like, oh, so it's like an off-brand Mortal Kombat, but where you can be a robot Snake Man. I don't know anything about it. I just pulled up some gameplay for you guys to be like, oh, that's what it is. But I'm intrigued. Now here's the heavy hitter, and this one I got for a pretty good deal. It is complete in box, and when I saw that price, I thought, oh, has the game gone down? Now's the time to get it. But I just checked on GameEye, and it's still running around the 170 mark. And so for me to get God Hand for 137 was an amazing deal. And I mean, it's in really good shape. Yeah, like the disc is great, great shape. So I was really excited to pick that up. I mean, the manual's in great shape too. I mean, I was just really excited to find this for such a great deal. And yeah, I budgeted for the expensive games. I've got a few hundred that I've set aside over the last year of be like, okay, if I find an expensive $100+ game, this is the budget that I'm going to put towards those kind of games, like God Hand, for example. So yeah, the fact that I was able to find that for good shape for a good deal, I was really excited to get that. The next game I got is actually one of the few Blockbuster exclusive games for the Nintendo 64. No, not Clay Fighter. This one's definitely one of the cheaper ones, but still pretty cool. Was Indiana Jones. So this was a game that was only released on the 64, and it's kind of a competitor to Tomb Raider on the PlayStation. Oh, by the way, you can see there the property of Blockbuster there, which is pretty cool. Now the crazy thing with this game, I didn't realize this when I bought it, was just how beat up it was. I got this from a guy in a Facebook Nintendo 64 collectors group. He had a bunch of games that he was selling, and I'm like, ooh, okay. I'm definitely interested in that one, because last time I saw this game, it was like $80, $85 or something, and I got it for $65. But I gotta say, it was a little sus, because his PayPal name didn't match his name, and he was initially selling this through friends and family, and I'm like, so that's a little strange. Can you do goods and services? He's like, yeah, but you'll have to pay the difference, which was an extra $2, $3 maybe. And I'm thinking, well, since I don't know this guy, and the PayPal doesn't match his name, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do the goods and services just in case. So it took a little over a week to get here. But yeah, it got here. But man, look at these pictures. This was how gross this game was when I got it. I had no idea. I forgot to ask for pictures when I bought it, which normally I would, but I just forgot. And I'm like, ooh, I want that. Just like impulse buy. But yeah, just look at that. The front, the back. There is rust on the back side of the label. Like, how does plastic get rusted? Now, unfortunately, there's nothing I can really do about the back, but that's easy enough to replace. But I did manage to clean it up. It looks pretty good now. Unfortunately, there's only so much I can do with the inside with the rust, but it definitely looks a lot better than it did before. So now that I got it cleaned up, there's a name here. It's a little hard to see, but there's a name. yeah, there's like a name here. So but you can't really clean that off. I really wish that they wouldn't put names on the labels like that. I would rather them do it on the side or on the top or something. That's easy enough to clean off. But I guess since it's a Blockbuster game, it got rented out to everybody. So I'm not surprised that it got gross. But like I said, I was able to clean it up pretty well. You can't really tell unless you're really looking, and obviously the back. But like I said, I'll replace the back. But now you can't really tell that this was a gross looking game. So yeah. Anyway, that was another game that I got. I just wanted to share that story. I know that Joe Schmo wanted to hear the story. Yes, it works. I tested it. It does work, which is obviously the most important part. It's clean. It works. And I guess I'm happy with it. If I find a cleaner copy of it, maybe I'll get it if it's cheap and like upgrade this copy. But for right now, I'm pretty happy with it. But anyway, that was another game. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I went through about 8 Q-tips, and it took like almost a half hour to clean that one cartridge. I just wanted to share a little bit more of the story. There might be more after this one, but well, I guess if there's not, then this is the end of the video. But I have a feeling there's going to be more. Next up, well, it's this was Friday, and well, there was a pretty big game that was released on Friday, which was Paper Mario. Which the weird thing is, I thought I pre-ordered it. I was very sure that I pre-ordered it. I go to the GameStop and they're like, "No, you didn't pre-order it." And I'm like, "Huh. Well, do you have any left?" And he's like, "We have 1 copy left." I said, "Okay, cool, I'll take it." Now, the big question that I guess I can ask you guys is, would you rather see this version played on the channel or the original? No, I didn't get both these together. That would be kind of redundant. But I wonder how much I paid for this. $20? I paid $20 for this game? Well, that tells you right there that this was a while ago. Anyway, yeah, but I got both versions. I mean, me personally, I'm kind of leaning towards the OG, but it is kind of neat to see on how they remaster things in the remake. But I don't know. Just figured I'd ask you guys that little question. But while I was at the GameStop, and I'm just looking at their games and stuff, as you do at GameStop, is look at games. I found a game, Gravity Rush, which I've been looking for a while. Which, it was like last year or maybe 2022. I found Gravity Rush, and I'm like, oh, cool, Gravity Rush. I wanted to get that game. And I go to buy it, and they couldn't find the disc. And I thought, well, it's kind of hard to buy a game if they don't have it. Fortunately this time, yeah, there's the disc, and ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, this is an interesting game. I'm trying to remember on who talked about it. Might have been Scott the Woz, but I'm not sure. But it's kind of like a puzzle-ish type game where, like, I don't know, gravity's weird, and you gotta, like... No, I think you, like, manipulate the gravity to be, like, I don't know, out in the distance, and so then you would kind of fall forward and, like that instead of like that and stuff. It looked interesting. So I was interested in picking that up, and I was purchasing both of those, and my cousin's like, "Hey, look, there's a stack of Wii games." I'm like, "Why do you point this stuff out to me? Why do you want me to spend money?" And so anyway, I looked at the stack of games, and I got Sonic Riders for the Wii, and look at that, it is complete, it's in good shape, and I got it for $14, so that's not too bad. So that was another game I got, and the last game in today's pickup video, and even though this has been a lighter month, well, God Hand in there kind of made things expensive. But anyway, I got Blue Dragon for the Xbox 360, which I remember when the anime came out, and I didn't know that there was a game of Blue Dragon until a little bit later. And when I discovered Blue Dragon, this is before I really got into anime in the first place, and I didn't, I don't know, it didn't grab my attention and everything. And then, like a year or so later, is when I got introduced to Dragon Ball Z through Dragon Ball Z Kai when it aired on Nicktoons back in like 2010. And I remember I saw the game in stores, and I'm thinking like, man, this kid looks like some off-brand Gohan or something. And it really bothered me. But, well, you can see there, renowned character designer Akira Toriyama. So the reason why he looks like an off-brand Gohan is because same guy made both. But now that Toriyama is no longer with us, sadly, I figure I should probably get this game and I guess other Toriyama-based games, because I have a feeling that some of those will probably go up in price because, well, the man's no longer with us. So, anyway, yeah, so these are a few more games that I got, and, I mean, yeah, you saw the big other pickups and the RetroGameTreasure and all that stuff. So, I guess I'm going to stop the video here before I find more stuff to buy that I don't need. I'm already trying to figure out how am I going to put this all on my shelves, because every month is a struggle of how do I fit all this stuff on the shelf. But that's not a problem for you, that's a problem for me, and I guess I'll just have to deal with that. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video here. If you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when another video comes out, which, who knows, it could be a playthrough of Blue Dragon. By the way, dude, this game is long. I didn't realize this. But look at this. Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3. Yeah, it's missing the manual, but I'll get the manual at some point. I mean, the case is in good shape. The discs are in good shape. So, and I wish I only paid $8.99 for it. That'd be kind of nice, but whatever. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and most importantly, I have a Discord where you can join the Discord where we talk about a lot of stuff that you see, well, yeah, a lot of stuff that you see here. Anime stuff, video games, and Nintendo, and Pokemon, and we post memes, we talk about nostalgia. We got a fun Discord community that we would love to see you join. And all you gotta do is just say, I want to join your Discord. I'll be like, cool, here's an invite, and have fun, hang out, nerd out, as I always say. So, I guess that ends this video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.